Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, we are live. Hello. Hello, fans of YouTubes. How you doing? I am Justin, the real Manos, and
And I'm Lindsay,
that's right.
the wife.
That's right, the wife, the
Oh,
wife. I know. I'm from 1840. So I just wanted to do a live show, and as always with the countdown comic show, I prefer to do these with someone. And I did it last year by myself, and which was fun, but I'd rather have a conversation with somebody because I don't read every comic, and lately I've been getting very geared towards Marvel. So I do particularly want to talk to somebody who does have a different point of view and does read other things. And this year, I thought it'd be fun to have a discussion with Lindsay, who you're very used to just being behind the camera and maybe don't even see very much. So I thought we would give it a shot. And this is something I've kind of wanted to do for a long time, is do a video with you.
Yeah, I'm
And
getting more and more comfortable being in front of the camera.
yes, and I thought this would be a good opportunity. It did feel like the time to give it a shot and see if we could do that. And
Yeah.
I kind of want to see. Oh, hey, let's see. Teva's here. Hi. Oh, hey, there they are right there.
Hello.
And let's see. We are just going to be discussing the year in general. I thought I'd maybe start a little bit before we get started, just to give like people. How's your day going? Pretty good. I had the day off. Lindsay
Yep.
did too.
Went out, had some lunch. I don't know. What else did we do?
That's kind of it. We didn't really do much. This was a pretty light day for us. I work retail in my real life, and this was a very exhausting year. And I didn't have seasonal depression this year, which was kind of amazing.
It was nice.
Yes, I'm sure it was much nicer for you, so you don't have a grumpy man
Yeah.
every day bitching about how awful Christmas is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this year didn't feel it. Like a week or so into the holidays, it was like, I feel pretty good, actually. And it's something I've been suffering through for a few years, and I don't know, it was really nice. I guess I can make some guesses why, but this year I thought was, let's see, interesting. We both had some creative projects going on. And let's see, we both did shows. I had like this frustrating series of things where I had like, I think I had 5 conventions planned in 2020.
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah.
And I did, I think, 2 of them. Yeah, I did 2 of them. I just had a lot of bad luck doing shows this year. I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah.
But let's see. We put out more Krampus stuff this year. We had a very good Krampus. You had a pretty good Krampus year, I thought.
Good Krampus here.
And I only put out one Kickstarter comic this year. I only did one Red Knight, which was the trade paperback. It's available on Manos Publishing and print and digital. I'm going to be making announcements soon for the next year of Red Knight comics. 7 through 9 is the plan. We're working a 7 right now, so I'll be talking more about that. And let's see. I basically have a top 7 best comics on my channel if you want to check it out when you have the time, of course. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do it. We're kind of doing a thing right now, so we'll check it out later. But yeah, this year was less frustrating, and I gotta say, like, yeah, just on a personal level, like this was the year I felt kind of like my life getting back into a post COVID feeling, and I feel like you had that too.
Yeah, after some setbacks in the summer.
Yes, quite a bit.
Fall was good.
Fall was much better. Yeah, fall was August. August was about around the time I stopped wearing like a mask.
Yeah,
because I was pretty late to the party with some
works
friends.
at the mall.
Yeah,
too many people there.
Too many people there. But yeah, this year I got another booster shot, and you got a booster shot too, right? Have you gotten yours yet?
I haven't gotten it yet.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
I'm late.
You're late. You did get the flu shot, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Every year, always get it.
All right. So I guess the COVID booster is going to have to be the new annual shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I can talk a little bit about comics. This year I did a lot of Marvel. Marvel had of course, like another interesting year. They had the big Eternals crossover, and let's see, more post Hickman XMen, and we started a new run on Spider-Man. And Marvel continues to do this thing where they've kind of abandoned ongoing titles, and no matter how successful the character is, they're going to renumber it, and that's just it. And I remember, man, it used to be like a joke, like the failure characters were the ones with the more number ones, and now the successful characters have the most number ones. And that's, I don't know, for me, it's just such a weird thing, and I don't know if that's easier for people to collect. Like, I'm afraid to drop some of these books because, like, man, if I'm going to go back, like, how the hell do I collect? Like Daredevil, I drop it for 2 years. Like, where do I go?
Yeah.
I suppose I could pick up the trades and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But even the trades, they renumber the trades. I took a look. Was at the store like the other a few weeks ago, and I looked at the Miss Marvel trades. And when they started a new run, they renumbered her trades.
Oh.
Which was like really, like, this character's only been around for 6 years, and you could just you can continuously mark the volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But like once they started like the Magnificent Miss Marvel series, which was an ongoing, they went back to 1, and it's like, oh my god, like how do you collect this shit? I don't know, but. So this was the year I picked up a couple of DC books. I picked up
something different.
Something different. Well, I mean, I do, outside of Marvel, I do buy Image and Boom and some Ninja Turtle stuff. And I do buy a lot of indie comic creations, Kickstarter books, and guys who are real independents. Like, to me, Image and Boom aren't independent.
Oh, no, they're just smaller companies.
They're smaller
than DC and Marvel.
Correct. But if you publish Ghostbusters, you're probably not an indie comic guy. But I've supported a bunch of indie people last couple of years. Being an indie guy, of course, want to support your brethren, I guess. And it's actually I've made some really nice friendships through that. But I guess, I picked up Wonder Woman Historia and Batgirls, neither which made, spoiler alert, neither one made the list this year.
Yeah, I know you weren't crazy about Batgirls.
Batgirls is so frustrating because it's the book I've wanted them to do for years, and it's just okay. And Cassandra Cain, I think, has forgotten how to kung fu fight. Like, she barely fights in the book, and I don't think the creators are interested in that aspect of the character, which is annoying. That's like wanting to that's like writing the Flash in your book. Not like, I don't want to have him do speed stuff. Like, I'll have him do other things. I'll have him punch a guy. Oh, so I don't know. It's like, that's her gig. That's her main thing, man. But I don't know. That's almost her superpower. That's like the thing she's best at. And I don't know. She just jumps and throws things. It's just like she does nothing more than the other Batgirls in the book to distinguish her. And that's kind of annoying. But let's see. That's kind of where I am right now. And you've been reading a lot of horror stuff.
I do. I read a lot of horror and a lot of fantasy.
Yeah.
I guess Magical Girls.
Yes. That's a big thing. And
small spoiler for my list.
Oh, no. So I guess we've been talking a little bit, so I suppose we can jump in. And I usually let the guest go first with their number 10.
Sure.
And we'll start that with you.
All right. My number 10 is the last book you'll ever read, number 6.
Which I read some of this.
Yeah. This is a wonderful, hard, dark fantasy book about a book a girl has written that is driving people crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who reads it sort of goes feral and they kill people, or they're extremely sexual, like animalistic.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is great because she finds out some things about the book she's written, which are spoilery, but can I show that on the channel?
I guess. I don't care.
The art in
No
this
one watches my channel.
art in this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. Love it.
That's got to study. I think that's one of the cool things about the fact that no one watches my channel is we can probably show anything.
They find a town that has sort of been taken over by the people who have read her book, sort of formed their own cult. And they've done this in the street.
Who does the art on this? Who is this?
Oh, forgot to say who this is. This is Cullen Bunn writing, and Leela Leitz is doing the art.
Okay. Her work reminds me of Mike Allred a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit with the heavier inks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gory, but really beautifully done.
Because at first glance, that's what I thought she was. Like, hey, it kind of looks like Mike Allred.
It does kind of look like it.
Let's see.
That's my number 10. It's published by Vault Comics, and I highly recommend it. I think it's all out in trade by now.
Mm-hmm. And I can, I can contest that because I've read, I think I read the first issue.
Mm-hmm.
And really liked it. I haven't.
I couldn't put the first issue on our list. It came out last year.
Yeah.
Last year, 2021.
All right. And my number 10 is Moon Knight, number 13. And this is from Jed MacKay. And let's see, who did the art on this one? Sabatini, Federico Sabatini. And in the last few years, I've not been traditionally a big Moon Knight fan all my life, even though I'm familiar with the character since his inception. I don't know. He just always was one of those characters, like, he seems cool. And then I didn't read any of his books. There's a couple Marvel and DC characters like that.
Mm-hmm.
And in recent years, I'm proud to say before the Moon Knight show, I jumped onto the character. And this is Jed MacKay is doing this really interesting thing with the book. And essentially this year he spent the year fighting this vampire called the Tutor. And the Tutor's trying to do this kind of business model for vampires where he's trying to create more vampires and, more like a pyramid scheme.
Right.
And Moon Knight, of course, is getting in the way of his business. So he's been sort of like in the background being the villain of this book. And I guess he's gotten tired of Moon Knight. So he starts trying to hire assassins and human assassins at that to take him out. And he tries to hire Taskmaster. And Taskmaster is the guy, he's the mercenary who's like good at copying other heroes and stuff like that. And Taskmaster is also in the Black Widow movie, but like a different character. It's the daughter of the villain in that movie, but Taskmaster is this whole other guy. And he has kind of a cult following in Marvel, which I guess is why so many people were mad that they used a different person. But I don't know. Yeah, I've always thought, I consider him kind of a reliable villain. Like, you need a villain for your book in Marvel. Oh, let's use Taskmaster. And he's not like an overly cruel villain. He's not like, he doesn't have these delusions of grandeur, or he wants to have any big plans. He just wants to make money and do his thing, and he copies everybody. And I don't know, he's kind of not personal about it. Like, he doesn't get super angry like Bullseye or Deathstroke or anything like that. So anyway, this issue is basically just him and the Tutor talking for the most part, and the Tutor asks him to kill Moon Knight for him. And the whole issue, Taskmaster spends telling him no and why. Like, he explains to him specifically, and we go back and we do some flashbacks of Moon Knight in action as he's talking to him and telling him, like, I ain't gonna do this. Like, And he essentially tells him, and he's like been around. This character's been around since the 80s, 70s, and something like that. And he tells him like how he's like fought like like Spider-Man and Captain America and the Avengers and the Hulk and the X-Men and stuff like that. And Moon Knight is the only. And he's even fought the Punisher, and Moon Knight is the only character he is scared of, and he won't do it. And he says, "You go after this guy, you are nuts." And he even goes so far after saying no, he goes and throws the tutor under the bus. He goes to Moon Knight himself and goes, "Hey, this guy tutor's after you. I just thought I'd let you know. He was going to hire me. And I just want to give you a warning." Moon Knight asks him, "Why are you telling me this?" And he tells him straight up, "Because you scared the hell out of me." And it's really funny. It ends with him like picking a couple other the villains in this story, but it's kind of amazing, and it's a really good example this year of McKay's work on Moon Knight. I absolutely adore this book. All right, now to your number 9.
My number 9 is The Nice House on the Lake.
Yes,
number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Another horror comic. This one is published by DC Black Label. It's James Tynion IV, and I'm going to have trouble with this name. Alvaro Martinez Bueno.
It seems
I have
like
to sound it out. I'm sorry.
It seems like an Italian name, I think.
Yes. So this is a great horror comic that DC's been doing. The first 6 issues, the first story arc was published last year. It's basically a guy invites, I believe it's 10 of his friends, 12 of his friends,
Mm-hmm.
to a house party on this nice house on the lake. And he's specifically chosen all of these friends. They're people from throughout his life, college friends, high school friends, work friends, people who knows like locally from the local bar. Some of them know each other, some of them don't. And while they're there, they're having a good time at first, and then they realize, one of them checks their phone and they realize that the world's basically ending everywhere except the nice house on the lake.
Where they are.
And that their friend, Walter, isn't really a human, and he's chosen them all because he wants to save these people. He's like, "You're the good humans. I like you. I'm going to save you while my alien race destroys all these other people." Now, this year's, it started, I think number 7.
Yeah.
He has erased their memories, so they don't remember that they knew this.
Oh.
And he's taken one of the people he invited out of the house and put them in a separate house by themselves on the other side of the lake. And they are just thinking that they're on this vacation. And it's a little weird, but Martin's there and we're all friends. So this is the one where they stumble across the other house, and Nora, who isn't actually there, she's like on the other side of the glass in this house. She's actually starts talking to them through the glass. They're riding on condensation, telling them what's up and that they should be remembering that all this horrible stuff is happening and that he's there and he's trying to manipulate them and make them like him so that they'll stay there with him, because that's all he wants. He just wants his friends.
Yeah.
So in the first story arc, there was a thing where another thing, they can't die while they're there. So there's another scene. There was a one similar to this in the first story arc where someone cuts themselves and doesn't bleed. So they're realizing this all over again. So
let me ask you something. When did this series start? Did this start after? This started like post-COVID, right?
It's somewhere in the middle of 2021.
Okay, definitely. So it does feel like maybe this is Hill writing.
Or this is James Tynion.
James Tynion, that's right.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard James Tynion talk about this, but I assume this had a lot of inspiration from the quarantine.
Oh yeah, people being stuck in a house by themselves. This is her first message to them. Walter is not human. The world has been destroyed. But yeah, it's really good. I love it. The art's nice. I like the characters. They're a nice, diverse group.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting seeing how different people react to all this news the first time and again.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know. The second time is just kind of horrifying to think about it.
Because, yeah, they knew this before, and a lot of them did not take it well. There was another thing is they, Walter sort of, or in the house, sort of get them whatever they ask for. They write it down on paper, and it shows up at the door the next day, like magical Amazon.
Mm.
And one of the girls was trying to ask for, like, give me sleeping pills, give me a knife. I want to leave and kill myself.
Mm.
And she can't.
Mm.
He won't let her. And someone else gets a knife, gives it to her. She can't kill herself. He wants them to stay. So they're stuck there.
Oh my God.
So my number 9, Nice House on the Lake, number 9. Excellent book. I recommend the whole series.
All right. And here we go. Now, this is actually a book I don't think I bought. I bought it very recently. And I'm not a person who is a big manga reader.
Mm-hmm.
And I've expressed this to you, but I'll say it here online is like I often will. Let's see. I'll often really get attracted to some animes, and I don't tend to go back and watch the anime's original manga because a lot of times animes are like almost word for word adaptations. They're very strict on doing adaptations versus like Batman the Animated Series has some episodes they are based on comics, but it's not like you go back with episode 1. It's just like the beginning of Batman. Yeah. It's an adaptation. But manga does that, and or anime does that. So a lot of times I'm like, I don't really feel like going back. Yeah. But there have been times where I've watched a movie and really loved it and went back and read the book. I've done that a few times with some Stephen King movies, Fight Club, and a couple others. I've gone back.
Yeah.
And recently, you and I discovered an anime, and I decided to pick up the manga. And recently, I went and picked it up, and I've been reading it. And it's Spy Family.
Nice.
I put volume 1 here, and it did. I believe this came out in 2022, so it counts. And this is the story of the Forger family, and that's an apt name. And essentially, it takes place in this sort of like kind of fictional European countries that are at war. Yeah,
it's a little France, Germany.
Yeah, very Cold War.
Yeah, yes, very Cold War.
Although occasionally they make references to things that sound modern, so it's very kind of like Batman the Animated Series, where it's kind of like kind of a classic, non-specific kind of time.
Yeah.
Where this great spy who goes by the nickname Twilight, and he is infiltrated the enemy country, and he has a mission, but he needs to create a family in order to really like make it work. So he actually kind of goes in reverse. He adopts a daughter first, and he goes to this Dickens-esque terrible orphanage.
Horrible.
And adopts this adorable girl named Anya. And unbeknownst to him, she has psychic powers because she apparently was an experimentation, and they felt like they failed, so they dumped her, and she ended up in this terrible orphanage. And that's where he came and picked her up. And she is very like attracted to like cartoon spies, so she's able to read his mind and discovers that like he's a spy. So okay, all right, I'm into this. And we keep going. He ends up like sort of being like a single father, and to really make it work, to seal the deal, he needs a mother, so he goes looking for like a wife. And that's when he runs into Yor, and she is a secret like assassin, apparently for the country that he's fighting against.
Yes.
And she is under suspicion by friends and neighbors because there's this apparent like, I don't know, the the way women are treated in this country does seem a little like
it's very backwards.
very backwards. Like
very old fashioned.
Yes, which does make me feel like it kind of fits into the Cold War, middle of the 20th century kind of like rules. Like she's like in her 20s and people are suspicious that she's not married and shit like that. So let's see, they kind of like make a deal to have a secret like fake-o marriage and to somebody like take care of the kid. And Anya knows that she's an assassin and he's a spy, and she doesn't let either one of them know. And this is actually, the anime is very true to this. After
I've heard it's good adaptation.
Yeah, after reading this, it's very close. Like I couldn't really, at least in this volume, I can't really see much difference. It's very funny, and I think I know. After watching, I think the first 12 episodes and reading the manga, first volume of manga, I have to say, like, I kind of like see why this is really kind of taken off in the States is because it has a very wholesome kind of family sitcom vibe to it. And that's not something you usually see in a lot of manga and a lot of anime. So it's had this kind of like interesting kind of like explosion here in the country, in the States.
In these United States.
Because I keep thinking like it reminds me a little bit of like Lauren Bouchard's like Bob's Burgers. Like this is something.
Yeah.
If you asked Lauren Bouchard to make an anime, I don't know, he'd probably do this.
Yeah, because it's a cute family who, even though they're like found family who aren't really together to be a family, they still love each other.
Yes.
And they still have fun together.
Yes.
Even though it's because he needs a family for his mission.
Yeah.
It's still adorable.
They are trying to fit into what society deems as a family. There are three outsiders, and in order to create this mission, and they have like decide to like do their best to like fit in, but in a way they are kind of becoming that family, and they really kind of care for each other very quickly. Actually, they very, very much bond very quickly, which is very sweet. If you're looking for like a manga, or the anime is available too. Really dug this a lot. I think I'll probably pick up further volumes of this, as like usually not a huge manga guy.
And I will borrow them to read.
Correct.
Because I love the anime.
Gotcha. All right, now number 7, I believe.
Yes. Number 7 for me.
Oh, wait. Number 7. Oh, 10, 9, 8. Excuse me. 8.
10, 9, 8. Number 8 for me is Leonide the Vampire. Miracle at the Crow's Head. It is a one-shot or possibly beginning of a small series by Mike Mignola.
Oh, neat.
Written by Mike Mignola, art by Rochelle Aragno.
Aragno, okay.
It's a lovely little non-horror comic. It's a little sort of fantasy fairy tale, even though it's a vampire in it. It's not really horror. It's this sleepy little town, which is kind of sad. Everyone is getting older and nobody's happy. There's a storm, and this little tiny coffin washes up on shore, and they take it into the inn, and there's this little girl inside. And while all the townspeople are in the inn, they're like, "Oh my goodness, this is sad. She's dead." She just steps out, all happy, and it's a miracle. And instead of just being freaked out, everyone starts partying. It's nice, yeah.
Okay.
So everyone's happy and nice, and then I start noticing the art that everyone starts looking younger. And they're all drinking and having fun. But someone in the town is hearing all of this. It's the dead priest. He's like, "No, this is wrong." So he comes back to life, and he's about to go kill Leonide when she's like, I'm done. So she starts taking everyone's souls.
Oh, okay.
And then she's like, yeah, I gotta ruin souls. And calls her giant bat friend. Bye.
Now,
And that's pretty much it.
Is this the beginning of the series, or is this a one-shot?
The cover says a one-shot. Instead of the end, it says end of part 1.
Okay.
So there might be another one.
This is possibly maybe
It's Mignola, so it might take a while.
Yeah.
Or it might be another part, but it'll have a different subtitle, so it'll be a different one-shot. Because sometimes he does that with Hellboy. It'll be like part 1 and 2 of this, and then, part 1 and 2 of the next story.
I think I might read this. It's
yes.
Really cool. I don't remember you talking about it.
It came out in October.
Okay.
Halloween time. I was reading a lot of horror stuff then.
Yeah.
But it's really cute. Okay. It's fun. I like it. It's Mike Mignola, Dark Horse Comics. So.
Oh, I have let's see, Makura part 2 in 2025.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll be that long, but maybe next Halloween.
Maybe. All right. So that was your number 8.
That was my number
10,
8.
9, 8. Okay. Mm-hmm. And 10, 9. And all right. Spider-Man put out 85,000 comics this year. And I only have one out of this. I actually have a honorable mention. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 1 came out a couple weeks ago, and it almost made this list. It was very good, but it didn't quite make the cut. But I had a lot of fun with this, and I couldn't resist putting this as my number 8. Mary Jane and Black Cat Beyond, number 1. And I think I'll let you read this.
Yes, this will be an honorable mention for me because I read it, and it was really good.
Yeah. And this is connected to the Beyond story arc that was going on. This is also Jed McCabe. Wow, I really dig this guy's work. Let's see. CF Villa is doing the art. And this takes place during the Beyond arc. Long story short, let's see. The Beyond Corporation pays Ben Reilly to be the new Spider-Man and secretly sabotage and almost kill Peter Parker, putting him in a coma. So their Spider-Man could be like the number 1 Spider-Man, unbeknownst to everybody. While that's going on, Spidey is in a coma, and he's been visited like constantly by Black Cat and Mary Jane. And Black Cat walks in one day and finds the Hood, Brian Michael Bendis' favorite villain of all time, the Hood. He has, he has Peter Parker at gunpoint. Mary Jane's stuck in the room too, and he knew that she had been visiting Peter Parker, not knowing Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but he knows that Black Cat's been visiting this guy in a coma every day. Okay, I need something from Black Cat. I'm going to go threaten to kill this guy. He's obviously important to her. In the previous Black Cat series, she essentially, long story short, stole or got rid of his hood, which is his namesake, his power, everything about this guy is this magical hood. And he was like, okay, I want you to go get that hood back or I'll kill this guy you seem to care about. And Black Cat is able to talk Mary Jane out of the situation. Like, I need her to go with me. Look, you're here with Peter Parker. You have a gun. Like, you're fine. Like, she's not going to be a threat to you. So she gets her out, and Mary Jane decides to help him, Black Cat. Even though Black Cat's like, you're just a person, so I don't know what you can do. But she does a lot of cool stuff because Mary Jane is a good bullshit artist. She's a great con artist.
And she's famous.
And she's famous. And holy crap, she sure does use that to her advantage. There's this one villain who is like doing his own movie night or something like that.
Yep.
And I love this scene because he is like very Dracula-like and evil, and he is telling he knows where to get the hood, and Black Cat is having no luck, and he's like, you can talk to me later, and they need it like tonight, and he's like, I'll talk to you in a couple of days. And then Mary Jane shows up, and she goes, hey Baron, and he's like, holy shit, is that Mary Jane Parker? Mary Jane Watson? And he's like, oh, I'll tell you whatever you need to know. And God, that's a funny scene. So we go through this whole like montage of them kind of like figuring out how to get to it. And they finally get to Tombstone, who has it under lock and key. And it's this really kind of fun use of both Black Cat and Mary Jane's abilities. I like how over the years, Mary Jane's become like a really kind of like like I don't know, like a wisecracking kind of like smart, cagey, like jack of all trades and con artist type of character, using her like acting abilities and like her occasional wealth. She goes back and forth like every other Marvel character with money, and they're able to get the Hood back. And maybe I shouldn't like
spoil it.
Spoil it.
Anyway, I like the end.
Well, the Hood actually was possessed, and as soon as he puts it back on, like the demon in the Hood eats him. Fantastic. Absolutely great. The issue ends. Fortunately, gives us a couple pages of Mary Jane and Black Cat like chatting. You get to see them kind of bond a bit, which is kind of nice because for years they were kind of adversarial towards each other, and I don't know, they click really well because they have actually more in common than not. So this was a lot of fun. This was one issue. It spawned a new miniseries. They're doing they're doing a new comic connected to the Dark Web story arc, which first issue was pretty good, but not as good as this. This is absolutely fantastic stuff. Love it. All right, so your number 7.
My number 7 is The Chilling Adventures of Salem,
Yay.
number 1, or one shot.
Yes.
This is connected to the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina series.
Mm-hmm.
It's written by Cullen Bunn, pencils by Dan Schoening, inks by Dan Schoening, and Ben Galvin.
Yes.
So this is a little side adventure with Salem the cat, who goes on a little mission to find out where all the missing pets in his neighborhood have gone. So he finds some of them. They have been kidnapped by a sorcerer who is modeled after Christopher Lee.
Oh.
As you can see.
So you heard Christopher Lee's voice as you
Yes, I knew exactly. It says in the back in the little info
that
he was modeled after Christopher Lee, but I can...
Fantastic. But I mean, you can see...
I mean, I can tell as a horror fan that that's Christopher Lee. Who's wants to make them his demon servants.
Okay.
So Salem, who's a talking cat, starts talking to these animals one night and asking them like, why demons? Why are you doing this sorcerer's bidding? He's just a guy. You're demons. And they're like, yeah. So the demons start leaving the animals' bodies and attacking the sorcerer. Which is kind of hilarious. Salem just sitting there like, I don't know anything.
I'm just doing my stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just a talking cat.
And then the animals, after the demons leave, are still all pissed. So they kind of rip sorcerer guy to shreds.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and in the process, his sorcerer house burns down. And then Salem's like, maybe I won't kill this mouse tonight.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
As you read this, what voice did you hear for Salem? Did you hear the guy from, I forgot his name, the actor from
the show?
Lois Joan Hart show, or from the recent Netflix show?
He didn't have a voice in the recent Netflix show.
Oh, that's right.
I don't remember.
But hey, Sabrina. Did you hear that voice?
Actually, it was probably more like Cat from Coraline. That sort of voice.
Yeah. Keith David.
Yes, Keith David. But yeah, I really love this. I like the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina comic anyway. But this was a really good addition to it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Nice little Salem adventure.
All right. Are you ready for my number 7?
Yes.
And let's see. Oh, we got another. Let's see. Talking cat should sound like every talking cat should sound like.
I agree.
Correct. Let's see. Also, Miss Mary Jane with Peter Parker and them being married so much. The fact that Marvel has destroyed the couple yet again is garbage. And it's like, yeah, but we'll see where this goes. Like, I've gotten to the point where it's like, Zeb Wells has obvious plan, so let's see where he takes this before I get really upset. Although I don't know, I've seen them broken up so many times. I'm like, okay. All right, now my number 7 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue 132. And this is from, let's see, of course, Kevin Eastman, Tom Waltz, kind of are story consultants now, but Sophie Campbell is doing the writing, as well as Pablo Tunuca doing the art. And I won't make too big a deal about this, but right now they're still in the Mutant Town arc of the series, where portions of New York has been turned all into mutants, and it's kind of becoming a sovereign nation, almost a little bit similar to the Batman No Man's Land story arc, but just with mutants in New York City. And the Ninja Turtles have been kind of become sort of the protectors, and kind of like trying to set up like a makeshift government, and media and all that kind of stuff that goes with creating a society. And of all people, let's see, Shredder has been kind of like going through this redemption arc with them, and they go onto this like sort of the spirit journey in this issue, because they're about to go into another big arc, and they're getting ready for it. And he takes all 5 turtles to kind of do this kind of spiritual journey, and kind of look inside themselves, and kind of do a lot of big character stuff with them as far as where they are right now in the series. And it does end with this amazingly sweet scene where they talk to the spirit of Splinter, who died like in issue 100, and they all kind of like made peace with him one last time. Sophie Campbell has just been really nailing this series, and you can definitely see why she was like kind of chose to kind of be the successor of the writers on this series. I mean, they're still like kind of steering the ship, I think, as far as where the arcs are going. But like issue in, issue out, she's doing the writing, and she does really great emotional stuff. And that's something, if you read any of her other work, you'll know. But this was excellent stuff, and very sweet. So that was my number 7.
My number 6 is Flavor Girls, number 1, because I couldn't pick the whole series.
I remember you picking this up.
Yes, this is by, it's very foreign name.
Yes.
Loic Lecatelli Kernsky.
Yes.
It is a magical girl story of magical girls getting called when some evil robot aliens are sent to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like giant ones.
Oh, wow.
And
that's really pretty.
Oh yeah, that's a spaceship flying into its mouth.
Okay.
It's big.
That's no moon. It's a
giant
really magical girl.
That's the evil one.
Yes.
And Flavor Girls are fruit themed.
Okay, that's all right. We haven't really done that.
Yeah. So, and it's the story, and the issue 1 is the story of how Pineapple gets chosen.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another attack, and the girl's running through the streets, and she stumbles across a giant pineapple.
Oh, okay.
And because the aliens are chasing her, she goes inside, and when she comes out, she does her little magic blue girl transformation.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And she has her costume and everything. And she's Pineapple. She's like, no, I can't be a flavor girl. I'm just a girl. She doesn't want to fight.
I gotta say, fruit flavors is an interesting motif to go with. Yeah. I don't recall ever seeing that with the superhero team.
Her with the other flavor girls. Can't remember what the other ones are. They are, I think one is pomegranate.
That would not have been my
They're
top
weird
5 choices.
ones.
Yeah,
It's not like it's banana and apple and cherry.
That would have been my first thought. Like they use the big main ones, but
no.
Pomegranate would have not been my first guess.
Pineapple, pomegranate, and I can't remember the other 2. They're not.
The art style is really nice.
It's really cute.
Yeah, it's really gorgeous art style.
It's very anime influenced, as you can tell from her Sailor Moon-ish outfit.
Yes.
But I love magical girl things, so highly recommend.
Who does this? Is this Image or?
Oh, this is done by
Arcadia.
Arcadia.
Okay. Man, it's been a while since I picked up an Arcadia book.
Mhm. That was my number 6.
All right, let's see. I got some more. Let's see. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Last Ronin was my favorite comic of 2022. I probably should specify that I am waiting for the trade on Last Ronin, so that means I have not read the book this year. So therefore, it is not on my list, but it is definitely something. I don't think the trade's come out yet, but I'm definitely going to pick up the trade paperback when it pops up, and I will talk about that when it comes out. Trade actually. Let's see.
Not for Last Ronin.
Oh, okay. I'll be looking for it then. All right, now to my number 6. Okay, here we go. And speaking of magical girls, here we go with XMen. And this is XMen. This is Immortal XMen number 3. And I tend to pick up just the XMen title. Oh, by the way, this is from Karen Gillan, who had a pretty good year, I thought, and Winnick. And I try to pick up just the simple standard X-Men book because there's 43,000 X-Men titles right now. And some of them are interconnected, some of them are not. And, I'm trying to stay focused, but occasionally something pops up on my radar and I have to pick it up. And this focuses on Destiny and Mystique. And this revealed something to me that I did not know for the longest time, that there was this fan theory that Destiny is Adler. What's her first name? Something Adler. Irene Adler. Her name is Irene Adler.
Oh.
And there's this fan theory that like she is the Irene Adler from Sherlock Holmes, and Mystique is Sherlock Holmes, since she is a shapeshifter. She just was.
Okay.
Sherlock Holmes, because they're both that old, and this kind of like explores that. And for those of you who don't know, Destiny had been dead, and Mystique worked very hard to get her resurrected through Krakoa's resurrection protocols, and like had to almost tear down the Krakoa government and kind of sort of depowered politically like Professor X and Magneto in order to do so. And this issue kind of deals with a lot of Destiny's kind of like trauma, of recent like story arcs and, coming back to life, as well as the relationship. And it also kind of like focuses on, of course, if it wouldn't be a superhero book, especially Marvel, if it didn't like hint at disasters coming in the future. And that's kind of how it ends. It has generally a happy ending, which is really sweet, especially for these villains who kill a lot of people. But you're like really kind of happy for them. But at the end, let's see, Destiny kind of like has this terrible vision of what's to come. And this is so good. And I try to only pick up one X-Men title, but I do kind of like float around and, pick up issues and arcs and stuff like that. And I'm really happy I did, because this was absolutely fantastic. All right. Now for your
number 5. I think.
Number 5. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Yes.
Number 5 is let's see, published by Behemoth Comics. It is No Holds Barred.
Okay.
Number 3.
I remember you talking about this when you picked it up.
Yeah. Written by Eric Gladstone. Art by Gabrielle M. Kari.
Mm-hmm.
It is. How do I explain this? It is Shakespeare and his page as superheroes, similar to Batman and Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a 60s Batman and Robin relationship.
Yes.
And it is written entirely in iambic pentameter.
Which is quite a bit.
Yes.
Like that's something as a writer, I'm terrified of trying.
Yes. And it is wonderful. I love it. It takes a minute when you start reading it to get into the rhythm.
Yeah.
But once you do, it's great. It's and if every issue sort of takes inspiration from one of Shakespeare's plays. This one is The Tempest.
Yeah. Where
Shakespeare and his page are they're on a trip and they get shipwrecked. There's a giant storm and they get shipwrecked. And it's on a deserted island with dead people.
Yeah. This is really cool. I actually would be tempted to read this because I don't know if you know this, but Tempest is my favorite Shakespeare play.
Oh yeah, mine too. That's why I picked this one.
Yeah.
It's also, this is a really great standalone. There's not any of the last few issues have more overarching story, but they come across a fish man, and first they're fighting him, and the fish man's like, I can teach you magic, and Shakespeare's like, no magic, I don't want magic. But Paige is like, yeah, I want some food. Here, I can teach you to magic up some food. So he does. And then eventually he kind of comes out as being evil. And Shakespeare, he already knows magic. So they defeat him, and they're on the island for a while. Until a ship comes along, and Shakespeare wants to get on the ship and leave, and Bard's like, no, I have magic here. I don't want to leave. And Shakespeare starts belching out fire. And they're like, okay, we'll leave. And the ship going by has, where did he go? His name is... Oops, now I can't find it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The ship is from Verona. And Paige falls madly in love with that guy.
Okay.
So he's like, yeah, I'm going to leave the island. And then Fishman's like, ha ha, I was pumped the entire time. The end.
It was me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So, and it's beautiful, and I love it.
That's hilarious.
Great art. The art's fantastic. The story is fantastic. And it's wonderful that they actually got it in iambic pentameter.
That's a real ballsy move. I'm really impressed by that. Yeah. And all right.
Yeah. It's by Behemoth. I think it's entirely out in trade now in the last couple of months.
Okay.
Yeah. Love it. So that was my number 5.
All right. I had a couple of comments where you were going. Let's see. Question is, Cocoa is going away anytime soon. I am done with the evil Moira Matagat. Let's see. Also, I need to catch up with the X-Book. Still working through the Hickman titles. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, Hickman works. Like, when you assign him, he doesn't half-ass anything. He full-asses. And he full-assed X-Men for quite a while. Let's see. Favorite Shakespeare is Macbeth. Let's see. Not an original answer, but it's a cool story.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I don't know. I mean, I don't think that's an unoriginal answer. I think that's a great play. Actually, that's one of my favorite ones too. Let's see. Maybe Romeo and Juliet is kind of unoriginal.
That would be unoriginal.
That's
because that's the one everyone reads in high school.
That's right. That's the one you're forced to read every year. All right. So, hey, now I'm kind of going to stick with sort of like Karen Gillan.
Every time you say Karen Gillan, I think you're saying Karen Gillan.
It does sound like Karen Gillan.
Like the actress?
It does. That's his fault.
And it confuses me.
I'm sorry. But Gillan, I'm going to stick with him for the time being with... let's see, Judgment Day. And this is, I went with, I really love this whole thing. So I went with issue 6 of Judgment Day. This is Karen Gillan and Del Rio Sheedy and Ivan Forelli are doing the art. And let's see, like, I'm not the biggest event fan. Like, I feel like events at both Marvel and DC, to be fair, kind of pigeonhole a lot of writers. Like, okay, you have to do this, because we got this huge event coming up. You have to get in line with it. Even though you're not involved with it, you have to. And like, oh, we killed your character off. Sorry, you're going to have to deal with it. But they'll be back in 2 years. And like, that kind of annoying thing with art. So I tend to avoid quite a few unless they interest me specifically. And this one I thought was interesting because it was sold as Eternals versus Avengers versus X-Men. And that's only the first issue, really, because essentially the Eternals kind of split off. The Eternals isn't really like a superhero team; it's more of a people and a culture, and half of them decide to go after the X-Men because the X-Men have this like resurrection protocol thing now, and they're like, "Hey, that's our shit." So they attack and decide to destroy the X-Men and the mutants because they always felt like they were like maybe too close to their enemy, the Deviants, for comfort. But like not all the Eternals are into this idea. So half of them team up with the Avengers, and their big idea is to create a new god based out of the dead uh, Celestial that's been kind of hanging around the Avengers books for the last 40 issues. And they create a new god out of it. And that turned out to be a huge mistake because the god, after like 2 seconds of being a god, realizes humanity kind of sucks and decides to pass judgment on everyone. And literally everyone on Earth is being judged. And depends on like if it's like majority rule, like if there are more people that suck, I'm going to kill everyone. And this is the big climax, actually, where not only do we get, of course, the teams broken up to like attack the Celestial from within and on and outside in 2 different teams, where it's like pretty thrilling. By the way, gorgeous art. We get to see one of the things I really appreciate is Gillen pays attention to like a bunch of really human bystanders throughout this whole thing, and it kind of watches like in these broken 6-panel grid pages, paying attention to how they react to the events of the story, and we get to see where their characters are. And it's to be honest, like they don't take up that much page time in this whole arc. A lot of it is dealt with all this cool superheroes, cosmic crap, but the heart of the book is these characters, and we get to see like just maybe 2 pages an issue of them kind of dealing with it, and we get to see where they are, and kind of they change, and some of them change like a lot, and some change their aspects. That's okay. Some of them change a little bit in their character and like how they're still the same person, but they kind of see with fresh new eyes. So that's kind of what's going. That's kind of what they do with this story arc right now. So that's one of the things I like about this, and one of the things that turns me off so much about the distinguished competitions events of recent years is everything is about like, I don't know, some cosmic crap that resets the universe so a bunch of writers can ignore certain things and create new things and rewrite the history, reboot the things. And you don't really see people's actual reactions to that. It's usually a small group of characters that are in the know, and maybe they forget about it. And I hate that so much. And that's one of the things I like with good and even bad Marvel events is how they deal with some certain problems and ideas. And this, I think, is one of the great examples of that. I think this arc, I don't know if this book will be remembered like some other events, but I really like this one. This is definitely like I think kind of the high standard right now. I really enjoy this. If you can pick up the individual issues, I'd recommend it. Pick up the trade as well if it's not already out yet. But yeah, 6. Although to be honest, I like the whole event. I thought this was really good. All right, so now we're on to issue 4.
My number 4.
Yes, here we go.
My number 4 is the first issue of 8 Billion Genies.
Oh, that's a gorgeous cover.
I
knew this was going to be in your list.
Yeah. This is a miniseries. There are going to be 8 issues.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're on issue 6 now.
Yeah.
It basically tells the story of what would happen if every human on Earth got their own genie and got one wish.
Okay.
So the story centers around, or the main story centers around a bunch of people who are in a bar when the genies pop up. So you have a band who are about to play a gig, a couple of patrons, There's a guy and his kid. His kid's there to pick him up. There's 2 people who've gone to the wrong place. They're trying to find a different bar. They only speak Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love that.
Then
that character.
The genies start showing up. They all look like this. They're so cute. And they're like, hello, it is a great pleasure to meet you. Every person on Earth now has a genie. And they're all like, I'm yours, and I'm yours, and I'm yours. And the bar owner kind of seems to know what's going on. And like everyone gets one wish. And you have, this is the first 8 seconds. There are 8 billion people and 8 billion genies.
Oh my God.
So first person we see make a wish is the bar owner, who says, I wish that no wish made outside this bar can affect this bar or anyone or anything inside it. He creates this haven where nothing outside can harm anyone.
Interesting.
And you'll see why. After the first 8 minutes, this is what Earth looks like. Population is now 7,999,000,000, with a genie population of 7,998,000,000. But people start wishing for things. The girl in the band who is standing outside of the bar wishes that one of the other band members would like her. And then, of course, she walks into the bar, and he doesn't like her because she made the wish outside of the bar. So now this band is stuck there with all of this going on.
And she blew her wish, right?
She blew her wish.
That sucks. That sucks so much.
But yeah, and people, and the guy who's there with his kid, he's like, I'm leaving. This is crazy. And then you step outside and see what people have been wishing for.
Oh my God.
And outside is crazy. There's flying cars and giants and aliens, robots and dinosaurs and castles, monster trucks. People have been wishing for money and all sorts of normal things, wishing to be famous. Someone wishes that their family would burn in hell, and they get their wish. But yeah, so the barman's created the haven out, so they kind of have to stay there for now.
Yeah.
But every issue you get see more time what happens. So this is the first 8 minutes. The next issue is the first 8 hours, and then you get the first 8 days, then the first 8 weeks, and then months, and then years. And the last one that I read is the first 8. Yeah, it was the first 8 years. I think the next one will be first 8 decades.
Oh my God.
And then the first 8 centuries will be the last issue. And you find out exactly what's up with the barman and why the genies are doing this.
Okay.
So it's really good. I love it. It's creative. I've never seen a comic like this with genies.
Who wrote this?
This is Charles Soule.
Oh, okay. Oh, Charles Soule. Okay.
Yeah, art by Ryan Brown.
He wrote Daredevil, and he wrote that very short She-Hulk run that I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah.
It's the one with the giant Doombot. I think you read that issue.
Yes.
No damage will come to this Doombot.
Yes.
Yes, he wrote that arc.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah, I like him as a writer. It's good.
Yeah.
The art's nice. And I love the genies. They're real cute.
Mm-hmm.
And they all kind of look like the people they're a genie of. Like someone with a beard will have like a genie with a little beard.
Oh, they're sort of like Batmite in that case.
Kind of. And then, make the wish, and then they disappear.
That's a really inventive design on the genie.
Yeah, they're real cute.
Okay.
And they just sort of follow around their people until they make a wish.
All right. Are you ready for my number
4?
4. Okay, before we probably should check see.
Thanks.
Let's see. Any answer that isn't Taming of the Shrew is probably acceptable for favorite Shakespeare. Now that I think about it, favorite Shakespeare. Okay. Let's see. They shouldn't have 3. They should
let everyone have 3 wishes to really fuck shit up. Ooh.
Yes.
I don't know about that.
And did you guys see the George Miller film 3,000 Years of Longing? I think you guys would kind of dig it.
Haven't seen it yet. It's on my list.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to see it. We kind of fell out of going to the theater a lot this year. So I don't know. It's on streaming, I guess, somewhere, but I don't know where it is. If it's on Peacock, we won't see it for the time being.
We'll find it one day.
Yeah,
and see it.
We'll see it. It's on our list. All right.
It's Tilda Swinton, and I love her.
Yeah, and also George Miller too.
Oh, and Idris Elba.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That's how do you say no to that? All right. So number 4 for me is We Only Find Them When They're Dead from Boom. And I really like Boom, by the way. This is from Al Ewing and Simone DeMeo. I did pick up some, I know my list is really Marvel heavy, but I did pick up a number of sci-fi fantasy type of books from like Boom and Image and such. But this is the only one that really made this list out of this grouping that I've been reading this year. Because, man, this really kind of the premise kind of knocked me out. And the art is just absolutely gorgeous because it's done in this extreme lighting, and this whole series basically takes place in space, and you get to see the lights from the spaceships and the stars kind of light the comic in a way. And it's really gorgeous. And the basic premise of it is it follows Georges, who is a space captain. This is a couple hundred years in the future. And for some reason, these dead gods who are gigantic, almost planet-sized gods, just show up dead in space. And humanity, being humanity, got the great idea that, hey, we could mine their bodies for energy. And that's kind of what they're doing. And of course, also being people, there's been feuds and fights for being able to mine the dead bodies of these gods. And we find, and this has been going on for decades, and no one knows what the hell is going on. Why these giant dead things keep popping up. And it follows George's crew, and he has been, this is issue 5, and he has been pursued by Paula, who is the antagonist, because he is kind of considered sort of a pirate in regards to the governments. So we've been kind of following this whole arc. I mean, there's just such beautiful light and movement in this book. And this is the issue that really kind of really went crazy because, we kind of got a hang of what the story is supposed to be about. I love how he titles them. Throws this giant title sometimes in the middle of the book. So we get this whole premise of her chasing him and him trying to escape, as well as trying to find the mystery of the gods. But we get to issue 5, and issue 5 has this climax that really feels final. Paula gets killed fighting them, and they're fighting outside of this portal, which they seem to be flashing the gods through. And Georges is able to make his crew escape, and he is sucked into the portal. And then we just jump decades ahead of time. And it ends with him appearing outside of the portal as one of these giant gods. And oh, I thought we were doing this thing with this series, and this I chose because this really made me wonder, I don't know where the hell this story's going now. I kind of was set on what we were doing, and now, we just took this huge left turn. I mean, it really kept me guessing as to where the hell we're going with this story. Al Ewing really, he got really popular due to his Immortal Hulk run. And man, he just turned this out when he is set to go creative and kind of kind of turned it loose and just be himself. Wow, he turned out a really imaginative storyline this year, and it's still running right now. I think the first half is collected right now. This is a really cool series, and I highly recommend it. Issue 5 is probably my favorite so far. All right, so we're down to
number 3.
Number 3.
My number 3 is Night of the Ghoul number 1.
Yeah.
Although this stands in for all 3 issues.
Yes.
It's only a 3-issue miniseries. This is a horror comic. It is by Scott Snyder, and the art is by Francesco Francavilla, which is why I picked it up.
That's a good team.
Because I love his art.
Yeah.
It's about a guy who works in a film studio, film lab, and he's been hunting for a full copy of this movie called Night of the Ghoul, which is a horror movie about a soldier who comes back from war and he has this monster inside of him, and it's about the soldiers who found it. But he finds the filmmaker who's in a nursing home, and he goes to talk to him to see where he can find the full movie. And he finds out that it's based on a true story. And this ghoul really does exist. And there's a cult trying to bring it back called the Order of the Fly. But the art in this is great because you go, Frank Avilia's art, he does the colors and everything and stuff too. So if you have this is current timeline, and then you get little snippets of the movie, which is in sepia.
Oh, that's nice.
And then since the guy only has an incomplete copy of the movie, you only see parts of it.
That's really cool.
So those are what like the little flashbacks.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely horror comic. It's gory and creepy. And the filmmaker was burned in a fire. That's why he looks like that.
Okay. That's kind of amazing.
Yeah. And there are 3 issues, but each issue is broken up into 2 parts. So it's essentially like nice, thick 6-part story.
Okay.
But the covers are amazing with the ghoul coming out of people.
Oh, God.
Oh, and this shows you the ghoul going into people.
Wow.
So it's a nice, creepy story, and it's beautifully drawn.
Who is this for? What company is this?
This is Dark Horse.
Okay, very nice. That's one of the things I really look to for Dark Horse is their horror comics.
Yes.
I think they've always been really good at that.
That's the ghoul inside of someone.
Wow.
But I love the crumpled film effects with the art.
And the same artist too. We didn't jump from artist to artist.
No, it's Frank Avilia
Oh,
doing the art. He does the art and colors.
that's nice. I love that.
Yeah. And Scott Snyder writing it. So that's my number 3.
Excellent choice. Let's see. So the gods were humans. Ooh. I don't know. Read the book. All right. So, hey, all right. Now we're down to my number 3. And we're back to Marvel, actually, with one of my favorite titles of the year, which was She-Hulk. And this is issue 6. And it's by Rainbow Rowell and, Luca. Marcetta doing the art. And this series has been kind of a romantic comedy with this lingering mystery in the background. Like we're kind of focusing on the romance between She-Hulk and the newly resurrected Jack of Hearts. And also, She-Hulk trying to kind of reestablish her life because now she's kind of rebuilt after a couple of years of being like a monster Hulk. She's kind of like put things back together again. And she's working for, Book and her law firm. And, it's kind of cute and funny. This issue particularly deals with her and talking to Nightcrawler about representing her law firm, representing the country of Krakoa, which is quite a big deal. I don't know if their small law firm can take that, but essentially they'll be handling some of the legal issues that Krakoa needs in the States. But also we get back to the mystery of actually not so much. We don't exactly get back to the mystery. We kind of refocus on the romance because Jack of Hearts was supposedly dead. He has these radiation powers and stuff like that. And one of the problems with him being around She-Hulk was he would drain her dry. Just being around him, he wouldn't try to. Just being near her affected her powers. And he comes back to life. He ends up crashing into her apartment, and as she's trying to help him recover, she notices she hasn't been affected by him, and his powers have been draining and going away slowly. And he's becoming kind of human, where maybe he can live a life again as a person. Granted, half his body will always be that color, But
it's Marvel Universe, so
who cares?
People are kind of used to different colored people.
So as she's been kind of trying to like get him kind of like, you know, up to speed, because he's been kind of dead even for a couple of years in Marvel time. They've been growing closer because now they can actually literally physically be closer. And it's actually been a touching romance. And like She-Hulk books have been sexy. And that's kind of like, you know, one of their things. Like, you know, she's a sexy character and she like, you know, sleeps with dudes because she's a Marvel character. But there's actually some really kind of like sweet and sexy romance to the scene. This comic ends with them actually, you know, getting together. They were sitting on the couch, been talking about, you know, the various plot, and they just kind of get. And the page time actually just lets us sit with that and kind of get them to kind of like actually have those moments together, and actually feels really real. And I don't usually see this kind of portrayal of this kind of scene in comics very much, where it kind of is, I mean, at least mainstream superhero comics, like maybe sometimes indie books do that. But this really kind of like feels really emotional and kind of sexy at the same time. And this is actually one of the sexiest She-Hulk comics I've read in the 40 years of the character, who has spent almost all that time being sexy. So, but it's usually in form of titillation for the male gaze or for comedy. But this actually kind of just felt really natural. And I really enjoyed this issue. I enjoyed the whole series. Pick its current run up. Can't recommend it enough, but issue 6 was my particular favorite. All right.
We're at number 2.
We're at number 2.
My number 2 is Catwoman Lonely City, book 2.
There we go. Here's some Catwoman.
DC Black Label. Written, drawn, colored, lettered by Cliff Chiang.
Yeah.
He does everything. And Catwoman's one of my favorite DC characters. I love her. This story, 4 issues, and it takes place in the future, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's not connected with the regular DC books.
Yeah, DC right now has been going through this like multi-continuity thing where kind of no one talks to each other about continuity.
Well, this is a standalone miniseries. It's on their Black Label with the prestige format, which is the only downside to this comic. It won't fit in my comic boxes.
You're gonna have to put it on a shelf.
Yep. So I picked number 2 because you get introduced to a lot of characters in number 2. So this takes place 10 years after something called Fool's Night. This is flashback to Fool's Night. Big riots, big fights where Batman, the Joker, Commissioner Gordon, and I think Nightwing all died. And Selena Kyle went to prison. She was in prison for 10 years. And in issue 1, she got out. And the last thing Batman said to her before he died was something about Orpheus. So she wants to go to the Batcave and figure out what the hell Orpheus is.
Yes.
So in this one, she starts putting together a team for a heist.
It's a heist book.
It's a heist book. So first person she finds Edward Nygma, Riddler.
Of course, that's a good choice.
Yes. Get a little flashback to the Bat and the Cat.
I'm curious what Nygma would be. You know, everybody talks about what Joker would do if Batman died, but like what would Riddler do if Batman died? Because he is, one of his things has been proving he's smarter than Batman. Yeah. And if Batman's dead, then like, I don't know, what's he gonna do?
I don't know. Not much. He has a kid, I think.
Yeah. I guess he can move on.
Yeah. He's not insane like some of the other villains were.
Yeah.
But he does like hit on Selena and give him a number.
Yes.
And she finds Killer Croc for the muscle. Because Selena's 55 in this. She's been in prison 10 years. She's not as spry as she used to be. Yeah. So she needs muscle and brains to help her get into the Batcave and figure out all the puzzles. She also needs a tech guy. Oh, And Two-Face is the mayor.
So he's been able to put himself back together, at least emotionally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her tech guy, it's a kid from Chinatown. Real good at tech stuff.
Okay. Is this a new character for this?
I think so. I've never seen him before.
Okay. Because Oracle is dead. Barbara Gordon is dead in this, right?
No.
Batgirl? Oh, Oracle.
She's running against Harvey Dent, Two-Face.
Okay.
So, and they're going to do the heist on election night.
Of course. That's great.
And we
Poison
get my
Ivy.
favorite, Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Look how cute she is.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You showed me this
she's
design
like
of
real
hers.
tall and real curvy.
Yeah.
And she's in South America doing like guerrilla warfare for environmental stuff. The rainforest.
That's right. You showed me that when this came out. And I kind of like, I never considered a curvy Poison Ivy.
Yeah, it works nicely.
Let's see. But I mean, maybe curvy, like a little bit like, but still thin curvy. But I'm like, this is really like full figured curvy.
But yeah, this is
working.
Issue 2 of putting together the team to go into the Batcave.
Cool. Is this series out? Is this series finished yet?
Okay. All 4 issues are done.
Okay.
It's a nice little condensed series. I don't know if it's officially in trade yet or not.
Okay.
It probably is. I haven't looked for it because I have all the issues.
Yeah, I'm sure someone out there would know.
Probably. BBW Ivy, yes.
Let's see. Manos.
That's my number 2.
Let's see. I got some comments here. Manos likes a piece of She-Hulk media. In other news, water turns out to be wet. Yep. Border type of sexiness. Riddler moves on to the question. Perhaps Riddler would probably just retire, get a cool job at Amazon or something.
He's basically just a normal dad guy.
Yeah. He'd probably have a huge Twitter following. Let's see. Sounds fun. And the artist of Lonely City did the art for Paper Girls. Yes, that's correct.
And I love his coloring. He does these minimal palettes and scenes. And then he'll switch to a different palette for a different scene, which is really nice. So like the flashbacks have lots of blues and pinks.
I love this page. I love kind of going old school 66 Captain design.
And there's more like, I guess yellows and oranges in the modern day, more down to earth, and some nighttime stuff. You have lots of greens.
Yeah.
It's nice. I like his art.
That's an excellent choice.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. I guess we're getting into a theme here with kind of the end here.
So this is non-canon. Yeah, non-canon.
Correct. We're getting kind of into a theme of writer-artists kind of doing whatever they want, because my number 2 was Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise from Tradd Moore. And this book is so awesome. It's just standing on its own. Doesn't need me to hold it up.
I thought for sure this would be your number 1.
This was very close to being my number 1. And this is like right at the end of the year. This came out like last week or the week before. I decided to go with issue 2 instead of number 1 because this one gives us a little bit more story. Issue 1, we get to see Doctor Strange kind of wake up in this weird psychedelic universe, and he's just kind of making his way through, trying to figure out how the hell to get out of it. And then we flash back to before to see how he got into that situation. And he is asked to assist with this being that comes to his door. And she is kind of like, she looks like that.
Yeah. The art is so pretty.
The art is so imaginative. Tradd Moore is absolutely stunning. First time I saw his work on the Reyes Ghost Rider, I was like, this guy is just crazy good. And he did Silver Surfer after that. And I was always hoping to do Doctor Strange. I'm not even a Doctor Strange guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy should totally do Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah, his art fits.
Yeah. And man, like, not only does he get to, like, draw it, but he's writing it. And anyway, he is asked to help this being and kind of go into her home universe. She's about to give birth, and they have this. It has serious repercussions for his world and her world. and he is asked to do it because he could astral project and kind of be in two places at once. And of course, by the way, this whole thing goes wrong, and he is like captured by like, look at this amazing like art. I'll be honest, if this story sucked, if this was boring and it looked like this, it'd still be on this list because this is absolutely stunning work. And we're only 2 issues into the story. I'm not quite sure. Look at that.
That's gorgeous.
Look at that work. Like Marvel should really like give this guy whatever he wants to do. Because absolutely, like page after page, it's just breathtaking of his work. And where Doctor Strange is kind of stuck and captured by like this like evil force that's in this world, but like good lord, just like page after page of this like
beautiful
stuff, just stunning work. And I'm not even sure where the story's going right now. I kind of have a feeling where we're going. I don't want to give too much away, but this thing is just absolutely great. I can't have enough good to say about it. Like, look at that thing. I mean, when you look back at stuff like Jack Kirby used to create, or Steranko, or some other the greats that really kind of put out this mind-blowing stuff, you go, man, I wish I was part of that. And this is what he is doing that kind of stuff now. I can't say enough kind words about Tradd Moore's work. I recommend this to people, even if they're not a Doctor Strange fan. Absolutely, just gorgeous stuff. Pick it up in monthly. Pick it up when the trade comes out. Just fantastic. This came very close to being number 1. All right. So,
my number 1.
Yeah, here we go. Before we go, let's see. Just have one. Love his Silver Surfer art. Yes, it's fantastic.
He looks like he'd be a good match for Silver Surfer.
Correct.
Or Cosmic kind of stuff. All right, my number 1 is The Cursed Pirate Girl,
yes.
The Devil's Cave.
Not surprised you picked that.
By Arcadia.
Mm-hmm.
It's a one-shot, which is technically continuing the storyline from the first trade, and he doesn't put things out often. The last thing he put out was in 2015.
Yeah.
But if you know his art, you'll see why.
Mm-hmm.
This is a story. This one is about the cursed pirate girl trying to find her father, who was also a pirate, and get his soul back.
Okay.
In the Devil's Cave. But Jeremy Bastian, who does this, it is written, illustrated, and created by Jeremy Bastian, and he does pen and ink drawings. So you can see why it takes 5 or 6 years to finish a whole comic. He does all of the lettering.
Yeah.
All of the art.
This stuff looks like a lot of like old illustrations you would find in like books that are
old engravings.
So,
beautiful art. And when it starts getting to the panel work, he does panels like interconnects and have really cool. And I've seen his art in person at a con, and he does it full size, big in pen and ink, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah. That's just stunning work.
And it has a fold-out center section, which you can actually follow along the dialogue. You can actually follow along across all 4 pages. Because it has little bubble tails as she's going through and trying to find the cave. It's amazing. I love it so much.
Wow.
But yeah, it took quite a few years for him to finish it. So hopefully in another 5 years or so, actually 7 years. It's been 7 years.
It's been quite a bit.
Because 2015 was the last special. And this came out in January.
Let's see. You've backed this on Kickstarter.
Yeah,
right?
I backed the original trade on Kickstarter. I think it was 2012.
Yeah. Wow, that long ago.
Something like that. But this is my number 1 for the year. Cursed Pirate Girl.
That's an excellent choice. All right. And I guess keeping kind of this theme with like writer artists and stuff like that, and really, going on run. I almost picked this, but this pushed it out. Fantastic Four. Let's see. Full Circle.
One issue.
I decided to cheat. Well, this is kind of like a trade as well. But
it's not a trade. This is one story. This is one chapter.
Yep. I did kind of bend the rules, but I could not bend the rules with this.
Okay.
I did cheat. Anyway, this is Alex Ross, and this is Alex Ross writing and illustrating Fantastic Four graphic novel. And the real cool selling point for this is it's not in his usual painted style. It's him doing pen and ink, like most other comic book artists, and that's something that I have heard him talk about. He has never been really confident.
Yeah.
Shockingly, he has not been confident in his pen and ink.
Well, when you get like really good at one style and one media,
yes,
then it's hard to switch over to the next one.
Correct.
And think that you're good at it when you start.
Yes.
Or even if you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to that. There's some types of writing that I don't feel confident with.
Yeah.
Like I can't write a poem to save my life, for instance. Or you mentioned iambic pentameter for one of these books, and I don't think I could do that. Like, I don't feel confident in doing that. So I guess, he feels with this, but God, he really kills it with this book. And the story is kind of fairly simple with a couple of plot twists here. A character shows up on their doorstep, and a very creepy fashion too. Like he's all shrouded, while Ben and Johnny are doing their usual hijinks. And it's a character that popped up a long time ago in the Stan and Jack years. They're one of the more famous issues, and he's been missing ever since. And he just shows up, and he is filled with goo and monsters and demons that explode out while they were examining his body. And they're all from these demons from the negative zone, which is like, the universe they keep going to and stuff like that. And that kind of leads them into this mystery, and I won't give it too much away, but it leads them into what they think is kind of like one of their standard villains, from the negative zone. But it does become a little bit more complex than that. So we get to follow them into this universe. And they also wear different costumes. The dialogue is really good, and God, this artist just page in, page out. You kind of see the usual stuff Alex Ross does in his, painted work, but just seeing him do like the more standard, like pen and ink is just is stunning. Like I just can't say enough. I'm just such a big fan of his work, and just seeing like this is
that's a gorgeous page.
This is a being created basically out of monster heads.
Yeah.
A full wall of monster heads.
Yeah.
And by the way, let's see. Let me see. Where is he? Hey, look at that. Hey, look. He put the mutant from
the
Metalunan from This Island Earth. He's like right dab in the middle of this monstrosity. This is what like I really love. Like old. Like I grew up kind of like I'm not really so much a sci-fi guy anymore, because sci-fi post Star Wars has just been shoot, shoot, bang, bang. Where I kind of grew up as like kind of a sci-fi, with dealing with big ideas, and like 2001 or like Twilight Zone, or kind of like that weird kind of like ideas of like old school sci-fi and stuff like that. And when Fantastic Four is done well, it's the writers remember that they do that. And Alex Ross, of course, is like an old school like sci-fi guy. So we get to see them like delve deeper and deeper into the negative zone, trying to like uncover like who exactly is kind of trying to invade Earth, and it actually has a wonderful kind of like beautiful ending. I thought where it does come full. Oh, I get the title now.
Uh-huh. Oh, full circle.
Yeah. It does, oh, now I get the title. Where it does come full circle. With the character that they first thought was dead. Yeah, just wonderful book. It's $25, and I know I did kind of bend the rules. I hope you're not mad at me for doing that, but I did kind of stretch it because it's just too great, and it's one issue. You can just get it one and done.
Yeah,
and I absolutely loved it. This is my favorite book of the year. Came in at the end of the year. Actually, my two favorites came right at the end, and they're both crazy art, visiting different universes, and you had some amazing stuff.
Pretty crazy art.
Yeah, and this is mainly why I was hoping I could do this show with you, because I knew
it's not full of X-Men.
That's right. It's not full of X-Men.
Nope. I had no Marvel books this year on my list, and 2 DC, but they were both Black Label.
Yeah.
So they're not in the DC universe.
Correct.
See, I think I had 2 Arcadia and a couple of Dark Horse and a couple of Image and one from Behemoth.
Yeah.
And one from Archie Horror.
And I had Boom, and man, I almost had Image in
one
here.
From Vault.
Yes.
So, we do some really good horror comics.
That's true. I had my first manga on the list. And IDW. I didn't have any Image books this year. There was some really nice Image stuff. Saga came back. The Dead Lucky was pretty good. What's the name of that book? The Something Black, the Pure Black, or the Idol. Oh, damn. There's a book it's so good I can't remember it.
Yes.
That came out this year, and they've had some really nice superhero stuff too. But nothing that quite made the list. So I thought a pretty interesting year. There was some really nice, nothing too spectacular, but I think some of the stuff that came out that was good was very good.
Yeah.
And let's see, I have a couple things. Philip K. Dick, LSD kind of like sci-fi is more what Manos likes. I haven't really dug into that, but I probably would like that. I don't like calling them writer-artists. I prefer the term comickers. Sure, okay, I'm open to that. And let's see, American
mangaka.
Mangaka. Sure, if you can say that, I'm all for it. But let's see. Yeah, I thought we had a pretty interesting year, and I'm looking forward to more stuff coming out this year. I have no idea what's coming out for the rest of the year. I know we got more of the stuff I've been reading, but I don't know about new stuff that's coming out. Are you familiar with any like news?
I haven't been looking ahead.
Okay, so I guess we'll be surprised.
I probably will later, but I've been too busy with other things lately.
I think out of your list, I definitely want to read. I think I'll borrow that from The Night of the Ghoul.
Yeah.
And
this one's finished already. Issue 3 just came out.
And let's see.
Leonide.
Leonide completely slipped past me. I mean, you bought it like right in front of me, and it literally went under my nose.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to read that too. I think those are really good.
Yep.
And thank you. So I think that's it. Is there anything you have to reflect on the year of comics?
I don't know. I mostly read horror and fantasy, and there was a lot of good stuff this year. A lot of good horror. Yeah,
I thought there was some really good solid.
And there's even things that I didn't put on the list.
Yeah. Every year there's a couple things I just have to cut.
Yeah.
So I look forward to this upcoming year. And let's see, both Lindsay and I have like creative projects we're doing as well. I have more Red Knight. I'm hoping to put out 7 through 9 this year. Let's see. And let's see, we have more Krampus stuff coming up.
Yeah. And maybe some other book coming up.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Might be.
If I can get myself to illustrate.
That's true. And I'm working on my new novel. That won't be out this year, but I'm trying and get a short story collection out by October. Actually, I'm going to challenge myself to put out a new book of horror short stories this year. So maybe you'll be able to see that in the fall. I think that's it. I'm going to be doing more live shows, live streams, and I'm trying to kind of figure out a little bit better method of putting videos out. I like the shorts, and don't forget, I'm also on TikTok. So I think that's it. Don't forget, you can buy Red Knight digital in print on manospublishing.com. We have an announcement coming soon for the next Kickstarter for issue 7. You can also support Lindsay if you're looking for anything at Silent Orchid Studios.
SilentOrchidStudio.com.
That's right. And let's see, if you're looking for any plush, and you still do commissions, right?
I do.
Okay, cool. I think that's it. I hope you've had a lovely new year, and I hope you're looking forward to 2023 as we are as well. So I think that's it. Is there anything you have to say?
Nope. Look, we're adorable.
Then we are adorable. I've always said that about us. Anyway.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Anyway, we're going to head out, so I'm just going to push the button. Good night, folks.
Night.
There we go.